Okay, so today we are going to talk about the five out motion offense. Now, the five out motion offense is one of the most effective offensive basketball systems. By spacing all five players around the perimeter, teams can create constant driving lanes, open passing options, and a free flowing offense that is difficult to guard. This system is especially great for teams that want to play with pace, ball movement, and decision making, allowing players to read the defense and react accordingly. But that's something we really need to focus on when teaching the five out motion offense is to read and react. We don't want to teach the players how to play robotically. We want to teach them how to read and react according to situations on the floor. To effectively teach the five out motion offense, coaches should actually focus on two key areas. Rather than, focusing on continuously running the same motion offense on the basketball floor without defense present, coaches should focus on two principles that help guide their five out motion offense. And that is number one, getting paint touches, and number two, swinging the basketball from side to side. Now, obviously, we want to ensure that all five players are outside of the key. They're outside of their three-point line. They're spacing the floor. That's the obvious, right? We know that. But we want to lock in these principles as well. Getting paint touches. The five out works best when the ball gets inside the paint, forcing the defense to collapse. How can you do this? Well, you can pass and cut, but you can also have a point guard or somebody that can create lanes for themselves to drive to the basket to get in that paint. You want to get a paint touch to get the ball moving for the five out motion offense. Once a defender helps inside of the key, helps inside of that paint, offensive players can then cut, relocate, or set the effective screens that they need to set, creating opportunities for open shots or layups. Coaches should use drills that emphasize dribble penetration, post seals, and cutting actions that lead to paint touches when they teach the five out motion offense. A great drill for this is your typical drive and kick series, but we're going to go over an even better version of that today. Let's talk about swinging the basketball from side to side. Another critical aspect of the five out motion offense is that the ball should never come from the same side twice. If an offensive stagnates on one side of the floor, the defense doesn't have to move, making it easier to defend. Coaches should also emphasize that and encourage quick ball reversals, skip passes, and off ball movement. We're also going to go over a drill, the same drill that focuses on that today. Overall, the five out motion offense is a fantastic system that allows for spacing, ball movement, and decision making. By emphasizing paint touches to engage help defenders and ball swings to keep the defense shifting, coaches can build an offense that is dynamic and difficult to guard. With the right drills and the right focus, teams can execute this system at a high level and create a fast, effective, and unselfish offensive attack system for their players. So let's go over a great drill today that brings all of that into one. It's not your typical just passing the ball and cut in a five out motion offense setting that gets a little bit robotic. We're going to teach them how to get a paint touch off the dribble and how to swing the basketball.
Now, basically, with this particular drill, what we're going to teach the athletes is basically how to handle a double team, right? Once we get our paint touch, how to handle a double team, which will eventually result in them understanding the concepts of the motion offense. We're also going to teach the athletes that, when you pass the ball, there's a good chance in a motion offense that you will eventually get the ball back and you will be the one that receives the shot. We look at this drill right now, it's going to go back to the initial person with the basketball after the ball already moved around the floor. And lastly, we're going to teach the athletes how to swing the basketball, which is obviously a super important concept with the motion offense. You want the athletes to be able to swing the ball from side to side. So three kind of key concepts to a motion offense that we're looking at here. Now, as you can see, we have four lines right here, a line right here, a line right here, a line right here, and a line right here. So instead of three, like we did in our last drill, we're now incorporating a fourth person, which is one step closer to our five out. So basically, what we're going to do with this play, we're going to have athletes line up into four separate lines. It doesn't necessarily need to be four people in each line, especially if you have limited numbers. You could have two people in each line. You could have sometimes even one person in each line. It doesn't really matter too much how many people are in each line. You just want four separate spots on the floor, similar to how we have them right here. The balls are always going to start in this line right here, the line where we start the drill. So for us right now, this is our white line. So the first thing that we're going to do in this drill, we want the person with the basketball to get a paint touch. So we're going to have number one drive to the basket and get inside the paint. Now, what we're going to mimic right now is if there were to be a double team, maybe inside the paint, how do we then get our motion offense going? How do we get our read and react continuous offense going? So number one is going to be driving to the paint and getting that paint touch. And like I said, we want to mimic a double team right here. So what we're going to have number one do when they get that paint touch is they're going to kick the ball out to the green line over here. Okay, so when number one kicks the ball out to the green line, they're then going to fill a spot right here. So what we're mimicking right now is, okay, now what does number one do? They need to go fill another spot. So number one in the blue line is going to come up here and fill another spot. Now what we're going to have happen is number one swing the basketball to the purple line, right? Number one in the green line, they're going to swing the basketball to the purple line. They're going to swing the basketball right here to this new number one, and they're going to swing the basketball back to number one in this line. And this number one is going to drive it to the basket, and they are going to get a wide open layup. So again, what we're teaching here is when you pass the ball to get a motion offense started, there's a good chance that you will get the ball back, right? This white number one started right here. Now they finished the drill with getting the wide open layup. We're also teaching the concept of swinging the ball, right? As we see, the ball went from side to side all the way back right here, and we had the wide open layup. So now we'll have the ball reset. So this blue person will go back to the blue line. They'll move to the back of the line. Number one will go back to their line. They'll move to the back of the line. Purple will go to the back of the line, and green will go to the back of the line. Now we have our number twos ready to go. And they're going to do the same thing. Number two here is driving to the paint, right? They are going to mimic a double team. And what we're going to have is two kick the ball over to green. They're going to fill over here. And as that happens, blue is going to move up, and we get that ball swing all the way back over. Number two is going to drive it to the paint and get a wide open layup. Now, if you want to start incorporating more into this, if you have an advanced team and they're starting to understand these concepts a little bit, you can even add now another, pass right here, and maybe have number two shoot, a wide open jump shot in the green line, once we get another paint touch right here. So again, this is a pretty continuous drill. It's not a drill that's going to see a lot of crazy action, but what we want to basically reinforce here to the athletes is the concept of getting in the paint and swinging the basketball from side to side, swinging the ball, continuously, which is what we want in a continuous motion offense, right? Again, we want to teach them the concepts rather than a robotic play. Now, if we do these concepts over and over and over again, they're eventually going to understand them. Again, this is something that I would teach in a warm-up in the beginning of practice for a few weeks before I go into my 5-out motion offense. And then even when I have my 5-out motion offense, I would use this drill a little bit more at the beginning of practice to just reinforce, those tactics that we're going over and how to play basketball the right way in a continuous setting.
All right, folks, that is all we have for today's particular topic. If you made it this far into today's lesson, it is greatly appreciated. Now, if you guys could also do me a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to our channel, it would also be greatly appreciated. We are the Online Basketball Academy. My name is Coach Danny, and I continuously upload different basketball plays, basketball systems, basketball tactics, and basketball drills that youth basketball players or training basketball players can use or basketball coaches can use with their players and their teams. Like I said, folks, if you could take the time to like this video and subscribe to our channel so I can continue to make this type of content for you all, that would be greatly appreciated. Till next time, peace out.